with your all capitalized letter name. If all of you all who are into the Bible, come out of Babylon, as the Rastas say. Get yourself a UCC or
Mm-hmm.
find your autochthonous identity and get out of it, because the United States is bankrupt, and those who are holding on to those bonds with all capital letter names, those are the ones they're going to come after.
Mm-hmm. Next question, Doc. What's good for protein? Good question.
Protein is made from the combination of foods that create amino acids. Amino acids are what create the protein, the food. I mean, create the proteins that you need. And they're the ones, the amino acids are actually what are like little crystals that station themselves along the DNA. This is why it's so important for you to have the proper amount of food, the type of live foods that actually create the proper combinations that bring together to create the what we call the complex proteins. These only take place when you're eating the proper foods. And so, if you're eating the proper foods, drinking pure water, and staying away from the sugar and the salts and these things, then your body can then deal with creating these amino acids, getting the amino acids from your digestive process, and then they combining together to create the complex proteins that you need. You don't need to eat a protein in order to create a protein. You don't eat a cow in order for you to get the protein from the cow, because the protein you're eating is specialized protein. It may act to stimulate a protein response in you, but it is robbing you of essential vital force that is taking away the energy that you would need to create those proper amino acids to create the proper complex proteins.
Indeed. Blue Pill, I seen you try to log in. You're gonna have to try again. For some reason, your audio and video did not connect, Blue. So, Blue, if you could hear me right now, try to log in again so we could get that going on. Um, yeah, I don't think he knows about this, but people keep asking this. They want to know, what do you know about Bobby Hemming? They want to know, is
I've been waiting for some kind of call from Linda, who was his wife at that time. I'm not sure what's going on. I do know that good brother um, Panic was the closest to him, because he was Bobby's acolyte, and I'm not sure what's going on. Um, I don't have Linda's number. I've been asking around for people to give me some kind of information that would get me there. Thank you, Brother Carlos. Um, what happens is that I've been trying to get in contact with him. I wanted to help him, or maybe give a little bit of my finances over to him to help him out. But nobody's been getting in contact with him. Even Brother Panic says he can't get in contact with him anymore.
Mhm.
So I'm sorry, I don't have much to report on it. I wish I did, sincerely, because I
Mhm.
love that brother, and he was one of our fallen soldiers, one of our more powerful soldiers. We were back to back, side by side in the beginning, and
Man,
we wreaked hell on the establishment. And it's so sad to see a good soldier like that taken out of the battle, because we need him now.
indeed. I remember that era. That era was unbelievable. It was
Oh,
magnificent. Oh my God. Like, it was, I took it for granted. I took it for granted.
yeah.
Looking back on it now, I took it for granted. So shout out to the brother Bobby Hemmett, Dr.
Indeed.
Valentine, for doing what they did. Once again, family, well, let me get to the next question and then be obnoxious again. Let me get to this next question, family. What energy can we expect from this solar eclipse plus the new moon on April 30th, Doc?
Well, when you're dealing with a solar eclipse, you're dealing with a um, a dispersing or an attenuation of energies. This is the time for you to do the things that you would normally not do, like psychic work. At that time, portals open, because the sun essentially is a kind of antithetical to psychic work. That's why it's best done at night. You need cold energy to do psychic work. That's why the moon gives off a cold energy, whereas the sun gives off a hot one. When there is a solar eclipse, that's a doorway that doesn't open in the nighttime. You're
Mm.
having a doorway in the daytime for you to
Mm-hmm.
do some serious work at that point.
Mm.
You see, so if you're into meditation and if you're into going into that inner journey within,
Mm.
that's a good time to that particular moment. It usually takes about maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes for the solar eclipse before it travels past again and the moon. And what you got is a portal. Use that portal within because the sun complex, what do they call this area here, family?
Solar
Solar.
plexus.
There you go.
Mm.
So the sun center is here.
Mm.
So what you do is to channel your energy towards the point here, and there is a kind of if you were to look at the solar plexus, you will see a bundle of nerves here that travel out, and it's in here that the Bible speaks about. They call this place here the manger. This is where the sun seed is fed. There's a lunar seed and a sun seed, and this is where the waters of the what they call the River Jordan empties into the Sea of Galilee.
Mm-hmm.
The River Jordan is your spinal column's fluid that has a cerebral spinal fluid, they call it. That
Mm-hmm.
cerebral spinal fluid is in the Bible, it's called the River Jordan.
Mm.
River Jordan empties into the Sea of Galilee. And it is within the solar plexus where the lunar seed that every 29th day of the month or every day of the month when you are born at that particular time, a lunar seed is created that travels all the way down. And this is what is taught in our school. And it sits at the top left of your kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
If it is not lost in sexual excess, it then continues its travel to the other side and then is raised up 3 days later to sit at the right hand of the Father. After it does that 12 times 12 times, that's what they talk about in the Bible as the 144,000 that will be saved.
Amazing. We got our brother Blue Pill. Blue Pill, Blue Pill, can you
Oh,
hear
my
us?
goodness gracious.
Blue Pill, you
Peace. I
there?
can hear you.
You don't strap that horse up right there, horse.
Yeah, Blue Pill got the cowboy hat on. Blue Pill,
Look,
listen, Blue Pill.
Scorpio. Yeah,
We
we
doing, we doing,
Scorpioed
we
out
doing,
today.
we doing a fundraising for the good brother, a live fundraising for the good brother, Dr. Phil
Yes,
Valentine. If the other folks could do it for their people, we could do it
yes,
for our people, our master
absolutely.
teachers. And the
Yeah,
brother had his Cash App. He's not able to be on Cash App right now. So
okay,
I'm asking everybody if they can support the brother, go to his PayPal.
right.
And I contacted you, and I know you want to say a few words. So go ahead, Blue Pill, talk to us real quick,
Yeah,
my brother.
the brother he was speaking my language. I heard 144,000, so I got a little excited, And for me to be excited about my journey, right? I have to be excited about Doc's journey because my journey and his journey are intertwined. So people are here, they're able to benefit from the light and the love and everything else that we bring from up above to the family here on this particular plane. A lot of that was made possible. The seed that was planted, the cornerstone that I laid when I was a student in this brother's classroom, and he made a plea to say, I don't want this information to quote unquote not necessarily die with me, but if there's no one in this audience that is of age that could take this information into the future, then the information is in peril.
Mm,
So I was imperiled
mm-hmm,
to get on my horse
mm-hmm,
and get on my job
mm-hmm,
and get out there and lay foundational bricks and stones, right, for the love that I had for this individual's information, who I didn't even know on a personal level, But the way that his information spoke to me and what it did for me at the time of my life, when I needed to stop playing cowboys and Indians in the street, and I had a
Talk to him,
love for
Blue.
my cousin who was doing 10 years because we was out there playing cowboys and Indians in the street, and I
Mm,
saw the value in the genius of an A.A. Rashid, and I
mm,
saw the value in the genius of a Valentine.
mm,
So me saying I'm not only building a stage and running a play to make sure that the young people come in and hear what he has to say, we also can set a play for my brother A.A. when he came home from all the way up. Yay. You dig what
mm,
I'm saying? And
mm.
all of that happened. And billions of people have been able to benefit from it. You can't put a quantification on the amount of people who have benefited from the light that came by way of what we call the conscious community.
Mm,
And
mm,
had I not been impassioned and imperiled to say, we got to do something to make sure that this information that I value because I know is life saving and sustaining because of what it did for me, I said we have to make sure that this information gets to our demographic, our peer groups. You know what I'm saying? And I
mm,
think that we have been successful, and none of us, because it's a labor of love, we should be trillionaires at this particular time, right? Because the value that we have put onto this planet during the age of darkness when the energy is at a super low level. I told people, can you name one incident at one of our events where somebody got harmed, right? There was probably, a lot of some people might have got their mental scrambled, but in terms of
mm.
physical force, nobody kills one another in this this is the most peaceful community on the planet.
Ever.
We not
Nobody
putting
ever
that
got
in.
harmed. Ever.
We
Ever.
not putting right the look, the Amish community's off the hook right now. You feel me? The Hasidic community got murders in it. You can't say
Mm,
that about the conscious community,
mm. That's a great point. That's a
right?
great
You
point,
don't
Blue.
put one and two together.
That's a
I keep
great
my finger
point.
on the pulse because I was there from day
Woo-hoo.
one. I was there.
Yeah.
So I know what this man means. I know what his value is, and you can't put a number on it. Point blank, period. Right? So we
Mm,
have to open our hearts and we have to open our wallets, our pockets to make sure that we lend value to where it is well deserving because that will always return on our investment exponentially. Exponentially.
there you
So
Thank you.
that's
Thank you,
that's
Blue.
what I have to offer.
Thank you,
You
Blue.
know,
Thank you for the
I
offering.
started. I did my first sermon as Pope Pablo, and in my ministries, my mineral ministries are in full effect. Because what I understood about my mineral ministries is that there were 43 verses in the Bible that spoke about crystals and minerals, and none of them were negative. So I
Mm,
said, look, I said, if we are minerals, then men are rich.
Yeah.
Right? If
mm,
we are minerals, then men are rich because that is the material wealth in this planet. Okay? We are all trillionaires. You can't evaluate somebody when they're in time of need to say what they're worth and what they're not. No, you're worth your weight in gold. And better yet, you are worth your word. Your word is what your word is because your word is your bond and you're bonded by your word. So it's even more than gold, right?
mm,
And this man's words have moved mountains. It
mm.
has raised the dead. It has done everything that all the mythology has spoke of. We can speak about people in real time that we know that have achieved the things that most people just wonder about.
Mm.
And with that, my brothers, I want to say peace, love, and light.
Beautiful, brother. Thank you.
And let's
Thank
be
you, Blue.
generous in this affair
Thank
because
you,
the
Blue.
brother has given nothing but pure love. And
This again. Yeah, I just shared his it's a PayPal. For those who are coming in late, obviously we have almost 4,000 people in the building. Doc's Cash App has been taken from him. We're not dependent on institutions. We're grassroots. We move on our own accord. We are gods and goddesses, and we're going to support our elders. We're going to take care of our elders at this point. I'm going to be obnoxious, and I'm going to annoy you and tell you that you should support the elders. Even if you get mad at me, you're going to support the elders. You know what I'm saying? So, Doc, make sure you support the brother here. I just posted his PayPal. Um, while he answers this question, I'm gonna put it on the screen again. Doc, the next question is what they want to know what water you're drinking. Because everybody, there's so many options right now. Everybody know, well, what water you drinking? Is it Essentia? Is it Mountain Valley Spring? Is it Poland? Is it Deer Park? Is it this? Doc, what water you drinking, Doc?
I,
Please tell the people.
well, I'll tell you.
Or give them advice about water, period. You know what I'm saying?
That's where I was
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. First of all, I want to thank brother Blue Pill
Yes.
for
Thank
his.
you, Blue.
Thank you, Blue, for everything.
Thank
And
you.
I say we are beyond trillionaires. We are thrillionaires,
Mm.
and we are going to go after the thrill of ascension. So yes, we are dealing with energy, powerful energy, and with brothers and sisters like yourselves, this message will not die. It will always find the right vessel to echo through, and with you, brothers and sisters, definitely, it's echoing through some very powerful, I guess, avatars. As far as the water is concerned, um, I I like to get the best kind of water. I have about, I don't know if you saw my one of my webinars where I show I have three separate um, what do you call it, jugs for purifying my water. And the last water that I have has what is called a hydrogen filter, an H2, uh, not only O2 but H2O2 filter. So I like hydrogenating my water. The water that you want to get also does not have to be exclusively uh, alkaline, because we need the balance. That's what it's called, potential hydrogen balance of acid and alkaline. Too much acid, you definitely have problems. Too much alkaline, you have too much problems. So the water that you would take, to be cautious, I usually use magnetics. I have certain stones that I put at the bottom of my water. Uh, the shungite stone, after it's charged in the sun, I then take that and put that at the bottom of my water bottle, water containers. And the last container I have is a filter that deals with hydrogenating the water. When the water becomes hydrogenated, it gets into the cells faster, and that's what they do to water. That they say becomes, they have these new kinds of water that they say permeates the cell very well. Well, you can get that type of water. I think they have it at Whole Foods. You can actually get the water that penetrates the cell, and make sure that you use that type of water on your shower as well. They have shower covers, because you don't want to be drinking water and then get in the shower where it gets into your skin, because your skin is actually absorbing water as well when you get into the shower. Your skin is very porous, and water gets in there as well. It filters through the epidermal layer and into your bloodstream quite as it's kept. So what you want to do is you want to have something on your shower as well, like we do here, and you put that in there and you change that. They have these very high potency ones that filter out damn near everything, and that's the best I can do, because if you're living in a city, you're living in a toxic environment to begin with. So you want to make sure that the type of water you get, because they're going to give you all kind of water. Water is water until you create and you have it. Say the best way to get it is if you're on the top of a high mountain and it falls down as snow, or you get the water from the rain up top there. But today, if you're going into cities and places where they're spraying and where they're using artificial seedings of the clouds and so forth, you have to definitely be very cautious about the water that you drink. Three pitchers, one that you can get in the store. I forgot the name of the ones. My wife gets them, but go into either Amazon or go into, just do a Google search and look for a filter that you could put into your water filter, into your water jug, that actually has that hydrogenates your water supply.
Indeed, indeed. Let's get to the next question.
And
Somebody,
by the way, if you
yeah.
see my skin,
Hmm?
Yeah, I'm in my 70s, and I don't have.
Go ahead, Doc.
That's because no, the water you drink is very important.
Yes, sir.
You see?
Hey, Doc.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that fruit water, drinking fruit water, is more important than worrying about the alkaline of all these spring waters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is fruit water more important? Like,
Oh
should
yeah.
we?
Well,
Yeah.
fruit water is perfect because when I was a boy in the West Indies, coconut
Mhm.
water was the one we opened up
Yeah.
our days with.
Yeah.
You know, if you got fresh coconut, that's what you drink.
Mm,
First, that cleans you out all the way through your kidneys, liver, everything.
mm,
You can get fresh coconut water. And
mm.
then you heat up the skin in order for you to get the protection for the inner lining and give you the probiotics. The coconut
Excellent.
is like a whole food. You have to be careful of using it, but that's like a whole food in itself.
Excellent, excellent. Let's
Mhm.
get to the next question. They want to know, where did it go? How do these movies we see give us information on what's coming, and how should we study them and in return study ourselves?
Yeah, it's a good question. The movies are telling you, see, the Illuminati has to tell you what they're going to do. That's part of the ritual. Because if they just do it without making an announcement, it will come back at them. The consciousness of the people, even though it's on a subconscious level, have to be in agreement with what they are about to do. The way they get you to agree is for you to be entertained and entertained with what it is they want you to think and how they want you to react as they begin to implement their new strategies. So they will tell you way in advance exactly what to do, where they're going. I mean, they've been talking about artificial intelligence through Star Trek for the longest. And now that it's here, it's like, oh, okay, because I saw it in Star Trek. So you have to look out. The movies are telling you exactly what they're going to be doing. That's what Bobby and myself and Dr. Blair and a lot of the younger brothers and sisters who are out here who are actually doing the work. That's what I did when I did The Matrix back in 1999. I was telling you how it is that they're going to tell you what they got ready to put you into. In 1999, they told you you're going to be in the Matrix or that you already are in the Matrix. And now that they perfected it, it becomes a reality, and we're just walking along. We have our computer. We're part of the matrix here, and pretty soon this will be in here, and we won't need to be talking to anybody. All we got to do is just do this, and we're talking to our moms or our woman and whoever it is, any place we are. We're going to be cyberdized. We're going to be in the cyberdyne system that they talked about in Terminator. We're already in there.
Mm. Once again, family, we're doing a donation, a fundraising for the good doctor who has had his Cash App taken from him, and the whole family has been supporting the brother tonight. If you're coming in late, it's your opportunity to donate to the brother's PayPal. He had his Cash App snatched from him, and as we all know, this elder is a gem, a jewel to our community, precious. Can't be quantified. So make sure you donate to the brother's PayPal. I just posted it in the comment section. I'm putting it on the screen in the section in the on the screen in a second. But in the meantime, family, make sure you donate to the brother. Make sure you support the brother. Let's get to the next question. They want to know how or can you prevent or slow the progression of Alzheimer's or dementia?
Very good question. Yes.
And Doc, before you answer that, Doc, family, if you got some questions, post the questions. We're gonna end this soon, but I want to raise a little more money for the good doctor. But post your questions, and we're gonna answer a couple of more questions, family. All right? But we want to make sure Doc is good. And when I got this thing when I see our elders being mistreated by the system, it bothers me. So y'all see what I did with Sister Myra. Y'all see what I did with Professor James Smalls. You know, I'm gonna take care of our elders. So I need Doc to be taken care of. So we're gonna take a couple of more questions, family. But go ahead, Doc. I'm sorry.
No problem. The the erosion. First of all, you have to deal with the psychospiritual dealings with progressions of dementia and Alzheimer's. Know that Alzheimer's and dementia is a retreating of the spirit from the flesh. It's a regression back to the time when it's a giving up. It's a saying, I no longer want to be in control of the avatar because the avatar has met with too many trials, too many disappointments, so many hurts and pains that there's a point now that I've reached where I am no longer going to fight. I'm going to abdicate, and then now I'm going to regress back to my childhood. I'm going to regress back to the time when people took care of me, gave me instructions, told me what to do, and so forth. It's a resignation of being in the race. Understand that, and you'll understand Alzheimer from the spiritual level. Now, depending on the diet and the specific types of things that the people are connected to, you have to look at the connection to aluminum, for example. If the people were connected to aluminum, and there are certain parasites, of course, that play a part in that, and there is a specific erosion of a particular neural conduit that deals with cognizance in the frontal lobe. And what happens is there is a toxicity or an incursion of heavy metals that gets into that area that causes ischemic strokes that begin to shut down blood supplies to specific areas. And that particular area begins to atrophy. And usually when I used to put people or elders on detoxes for heavy metals, that started, if it was in time, of course, that started the reversal, or at least they began to become a little bit more lucid and communicative. But diet was very important. Uh, Genetics are very important as well. And it isn't that we're imprisoned by our genetics. Please understand that. I say genetics because the family genetics that we are born into, that we choose to be born into, is based upon the the trials that we create to ourselves in previous lives. So the the family has a consciousness stream that we dip in and out of life, physical life, spiritual, physical, metaphysical. And because we are caught in that family's consciousness stream, the consciousness karma intermixes, and we are choosing the family that we come through based upon that template that must resonate closest to us, so that when we come through, we carry that on our soul. And our life lessons are based upon what we have carried from the previous life and is inscarred upon the soul. That's why the ancient ancestors, the Kemeteu, when they showed you the funerary scene for the judgment, they used to have a feather in the heart, because that's where the soul sits. The soul sits in the heart. So if the heart is heavy, it means that you carry the burden of things that you have had to deal with that you could not resolve while you were in the flesh. So it becomes almost like a scar on the soul that the soul needs to come back into in order to resolve that situation through whatever crucible that you choose based upon the body you choose, the crucible you choose, which would be Alzheimer's, it would be heart, high blood pressure, diabetes, different types of diseases are representative of the particular thought patterns and pains that we injured ourselves with based upon our interpretation of that particular experience. So when you understand that, then you understand what it is about karma, and you understand that sometimes the people that you see on the street that don't give a damn about wanting to get a new car, a new house, they're living on the street in the garbage, they done gave up. They no
Mm,
longer, some of these
mm,
people ain't coming
mhm,
back anymore because there's
mm,
nothing here that's holding them down.
mhm, mhm,
You see, our need to be successful, our need to have the big house, our need to have that becomes an energy pattern in itself that
mm,
needs fulfillment, because we create that. It has
mm,
a cause and the effect. If the effect doesn't happen while we are alive, we carry that
mm,
into the next life.
mm. Man, you dropping jewels, family. The brother's doing his thing. What he always does, This is our master teacher here, family. Before we get to the next question, we're winding down, family. I'm gonna take two more questions, then we're gonna get out of here. Two more, and then we're gonna get out of here. Before I do, once again, family, I'm posting the brother's PayPal in the chat. Make sure if you came in late, we're almost 4,000 deep. It's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. Fox News will like that. All these CNN will like that. These major stations, they will like that. We're not a major station and we got that. So we're important.
Yes,
Don't let nobody fool you. We're important.
yes, we are.
We are important. And Doc is important. And Doc is a jewel in our community, and he has led the way for so many years, and he has made it possible for so many teachers. Support the brother. I posted his PayPal. They took his Cash App. Support the brother family on his PayPal. I'm gonna post his next question, and then I'm gonna put his PayPal on the screen. But make sure you support his PayPal, all right, family? Doc, before I post your PayPal, who are the, and this is a common question, who are the 144,000 in the Bible?
Actually, they got you with the pronoun. It's what are
Uh
1,000 in the
oh.
Bible.
No, explain that. Come on, don't you can't just say that. Come on. What do you
Well,
mean? What?
you gotta understand
What?
that most people don't understand that all of the characters you see in the Bible are fictitious. They
Uh-huh.
may use certain historical characters in order to give validity to the point that they want to put across. But
Uh-huh.
the 144,000 are based upon a scientific process that the Kundalini works, how the body works. We
Mm-hmm.
teach this in the higher the third degree in our university. There is a
Mm-hmm.
process that I was also speaking to you about that the
Mm-hmm.
solar plexus is where this is the manger.
Mm-hmm.
This is the manger. If you look at it, if you were to tear the body apart and look at the solar plexus, well, that's we call it a plexus
Mm-hmm.
because it's a combination and a gathering together at one
Mm-hmm.
point.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the manger that they speak about.
Mm-hmm.
And everything in the Bible is here. It's this is the Bible, but they've masked it by anthropomorphizing all of the different forces that constitute the astrotheological message that our ancestors put on the spinning dome and told us that that's the school. We are getting a rotation of the dome, which is giving us certain energy patterns at certain times and graduating folks from one level to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And when you understand that everything they could possibly speak about on an external purpose, when they're talking about holy and spiritual, they're talking about what's inside of us.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is in here. That's why over the top of all of the high temples of ancient Kemet, before they before the so-called Greeks took it, is know thyself. How is it that the greatest of great ancestors would put right across the top, know thyself? Why? Because it is all within you. It is not who are the 144,000. That's the trick. That's the illusion. What you have to do is to understand the discipline that raises the 144,000 that is saved. And once it is
Mm-hmm.
saved, it then now goes into Israel, okay? And into the promised land. That's where the pineal is. That's the
Mm-hmm.
promised land.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get into the promised land, that's where you begin to see heaven because heaven simply means a heaved up place.